It seems like everyone has a side hustle right now, so I figure why not try some out for myself and let you guys know with an honest review of every side hustle that I try out and if I make money from it and if it's obviously worth your time. So let's not waste any time and get right into the video. Let's go. The side hustle we're talking about today and the one that I made over $2,000 in 25 days from is Rover. If you don't know what Rover is, it's pretty much a pet sitting platform. So you can go on there and watch people's dogs. You can go on there and watch people's cats. You can watch it at their house or they can watch it at your house. You can walk dogs and do other different things to make money on this given platform. So I've been using this platform for about a month now. So I just want to give you my overall honest review, thoughts, opinions, pros and cons, and somewhere in the middle, and pretty much leave you with, do you want to try something like this out? Is it worth your time? All that kind of good stuff. So let's just start with the pros. First up, if you work from home, then this might actually be a dream side hustle simply because you don't have to go anywhere and you're making extra money on top of the money you're already making doing your remote job. You don't have to do much. You pretty much have to feed the dog, walk the dog, take care of the dog, pet the dog, regular things that you would normally do if you had a dog. So assuming the dog is pretty low maintenance when it comes to watching them in your home and they're not running around knocking things over all the time or doing whatever else, then you should be just fine. And from my experience of watching about 11 dogs now, every single one of them have been just fine being in the home with me. After about an hour or so, they kind of chill out, they relax, they get comfortable, they have to get comfortable because they're in a brand new space that they're not aware of. So which secondly is something I expected but didn't really plan on writing it down, but I figure I'm gonna tell you anyway, and that's simply the animal connection. So you literally build a bond with these animals depending on how long you're watching them for. In my particular case, we do a lot of boarding in my apartment, so all the dogs would come here, or a dog at a time would come here pretty much, and we would watch them here in my apartment. And you can do other things, like I said, you can walk dogs, or you can go to someone else's place and stay there if you want to. But I feel like the best bang for your buck and to make this side hustle really worth it is simply to do just the boarding, where they come to your place, they stay there for a limited amount of time, and then they go home. Most people want boarding just because they might be going on vacation, they might have an event that weekend where they can't watch their dog, or they just don't want them to be in the house for a day and a half alone, or maybe longer than that, So it really just depends. But to me and my girl, since we do this together, I find this very therapeutic, especially because I just like being around dogs. Now, if you don't, then that's a different story. The third pro may surprise you because it has networking opportunities. That's not the first thing you think about when it comes to watching dogs, but it is the first thing you think about when you get to meet new people, because that's exactly what you're doing. You're consistently meeting brand new people that you've never met in your life, and you probably never will meet if you weren't watching their pets. This alone could truly change the trajectory of your life depending on what kind of career field you're in. I mean, you can run into someone that's already heavily invested into their career, and that's what you could be going to school for or something like that. So you really don't know who you could run into, or you could just run into somebody else that may put you on game for something else, maybe another side hustle, maybe some investing tips like, Dollar Mike. So it really just depends, but the opportunity to pretty much network with people that you would normally never talk to and are great people, generally speaking, I don't really see an issue with that. I think it's definitely a pro. Fourth pro, unlike other side hustles like DoorDash and Uber Eats and Instacart, stuff like that, you control your own prices. Now, obviously, if you're going to price yourself super high and you don't have any reviews yet, then you're probably not going to get any bookings. But if you price yourself a little bit below the market, which is what exactly what we did pretty much, we got tons of bookings even though we didn't have any reviews at all. Obviously, we didn't make as much money, but as time goes on and you get more reviews, then you can obviously increase your prices and also still get those same bookings. You're going to build your relationships in the beginning. I would say it takes about a month because that's how long it's taken us. And we have had multiple repeat customers now, and pretty much go forth and be grateful with that, because now I can increase my prices to whatever price or make it a little bit below the average. I still like to be below the average of what everybody else is on the platform, and you can see that on the Rover app. So once you get the reviews under your belt, then you of course have the power to set those prices to whatever you want them to be, and you have the leverage because you have those reviews to make more money, which is exactly what you want to do. And like I said, you're still at home this entire time. The final pro I want to mention is pretty much, you don't know where this could go. This could potentially build your own dog watching business or pet sitting business if you want to do something like that, especially if you're into just animals in general. Personally, I am. Do I want to get into an entire pet sitting business? Not really, but I am open to it because I've seen how much money that can be made in a very short amount of time off of doing minimal work. You're still going to do work, of course. There's no way you're not finessing the work part. But minimal work, and like it's something I like doing, so I don't really have too much of an issue with it. But on top of that, people pay you on the platform, and some people opt to pay you off the platform, which I'm going to talk about later in this video. And of course, when they pay you off the platform, you make even more money. Now we're going to switch gears on over to the cons. I do have a decent amount of them as well. And the first one is the fees. Man, the fees. Rover charges you 20%, or they pretty much take 20% of everything you make. So if you make $100, they're taking $20 from it. So you only made $80. But on top of that, they also charge the people that book another 10% fee. So the person that books is paying a 10% fee, and then you're paying a 20% fee. Off rip, Rover's making a decent amount of money from this. This is fine. I mean, I understand you have to do this to run your platform, but I think 20% is just a little too much. But I don't work for Rover. I don't know their financial situation. I don't know how much it costs to keep this app running. So for all those reasons, it is what it is, right? It's 20% off from you, and then obviously 10% from the person that books. But you got to think, if you're getting a lot of bookings on the Rover platform and you're getting 20% taken away from that, and you still have to pay taxes on this money, then that's even more money that's gone. So it adds up over time, like I said. Now the second con kind of depends on you when it comes to actually getting paid. So Rover pays you after you complete your booking, or after you finish the entire booking. So let's say, for instance, you watch the dog for a week. You're not going to get paid until about 2 business days after that booking is complete. So if it ends on Friday, you're probably going to get paid Monday or Tuesday, give or take, and they do not process payments on weekends. If that is an issue for you, if you're looking to get a booking and get paid from that booking within 1 to 2 days of you receiving the dog, then that's not how it's going to work. So just letting you know, it could be a pro, could be a con. I didn't really know where to put it, so I put it in the con section because I feel like it could be a little bit faster, but it's fine. But the third con is definitely safety. Safety is always going to be a big concern for yourself and also for the animal that you are watching. You could run into more aggressive breeds. I have only ran into one particular breed that was more aggressive. They were very friendly with me and my partner, but they weren't really friendly with anybody else. So you have to have them tight on that leash when you're walking them, because they were pretty aggressive with other people in general, and especially other dogs. So that's something that you had to talk to the person, obviously, about their animal before you go ahead and take that booking, to see if you're really open to it. So I would say just use your best judgment when it comes to watching an animal. See if you can meet the animal before you actually watch them or anything like that, and pretty much go about your day. I think you'll be just fine. There are dogs that we have watched that were very big, very heavy, very friendly, but we wouldn't watch them again. We just watched a 95-pound golden retriever. Great, extremely friendly, but it's just not enough space, obviously, in the apartment, and it's also just a lot to walk the dog, because I mean, it's a very big dog. Regardless, some breeds are very protective and territorial, so just check with the owner to see how the dog actually is, how's their temperament, and all that kind of good stuff, and you should be okay. Final con that I want to mention today is the Rover app. So the Rover app in itself isn't really bad, but I do wish they would make a couple of updates. So hopefully, if a Rover developer is watching this video, then definitely just hear me out, please. Either way, on the calendar tab, or there should be, I guess you could say, there should be a calendar tab where you can see all the bookings that you have in a color-coded view, in my personal opinion. When you have multiple bookings that overlap with each other, which I have had over the past month, twice, I think, it can get a little bit confusing on which dog is coming on which day and whatnot. So it'd be nice just to have a calendar view where you can see different colors on different days, and maybe a line going across of what you want to see when it comes to watching particular dogs and dogs overlapping with other dogs. So just so you know, pretty much we just ended up writing it down on the fridge, but like I said, it would be a lot easier if this was just in the app, and it just makes it easier for you as a user. That's all. So here's the reality. In reality, people are charging about $50 to $90 a night to watch particular dogs. Like I said, we mainly just do boarding. You can do other things on the app to make money, but in this case, or in this video, I'm mainly talking about just boarding. So when the dog stays with you, we undercutted obviously the entire market because we wanted to get reviews. So we were charging anywhere from $35 to $45 per night, and then obviously would increase over time. Now, I recommend you do the same thing. Since you don't have any reviews, you're just starting out. Make sure your profile is, good. Pictures of yourself, pictures of dogs that you may have watched in the past, all that kind of good stuff. And also add pictures as you watch more dogs, and you'll get reviews as long as you're a great host. The next reality is that off-platform temptation. So Rover charges a lot of fees, man. 20% is a lot to come off the top, and you can completely dodge that 20% if you obviously book with these people off the platform. You talk to them on the platform, you take it off the platform, they pay you separately, but obviously that involves a lot of risk as well. You might not get paid. This hasn't happened to me, but it is possible. Somebody, you may watch someone's dog and they may take their dog back, and you might not get paid. What are you gonna do? Hold the dog hostage? That sounds a little crazy. I ain't gonna hold you. But that's the risk that you play because you don't have a contract, you don't have anything to back you're saying. Now, of course, you can make all that, but that's extra work on your part. So what do you really want to do? For me personally, we have had some repeat customers and they have been off the platform, and they wanted it off the platform as well because Rover charges them a 10% fee just to book. People are open to doing it and you feel comfortable with them, then do it off the platform. They don't feel open to doing it, or you feel a little hesitant about it, do it on the platform. The final reality is that location is everything. Depending on where you are located will decide how many bookings you get, repeat bookings, anything like that, just because you could be in a central location. So I would say if you're near a city but not directly in the city, you're probably going to get a lot of bookings, or even in the city, you still probably get a lot of bookings. In the countryside, maybe you still get a lot of bookings. I don't know. I'm in the suburbs right now, so I can't say. I just know where I'm at. We get a lot of bookings. A lot of people around here have dogs. People have a lot of homes around here, so it's very normal to see a dog or a person with a dog walking, or multiple dogs. Like, this is a very normal place. But people that don't have dogs, or just can't afford it, or it doesn't make sense to have a lot of dogs, maybe a little bit different. So your results will vary depending on where you live. But so to close, over those 25 days of me pet sitting, we made about $2,200 when it comes to obviously using the Rover platform. We made that on the platform and off the platform, and it's as simple as that. Will this replace your day job? Possibly, to be completely honest, that is a lot of money in 25 days. Did it require a lot of work? I would say no, but definitely you have to feel each dog out as they come in. So they have to get to a comfortable point, unless they're just a naturally friendly dog with a lot of people, which, like I said, the majority of my bookings were I think all 11 or all 12 of them, except for one. So it just really depends. But now I'm going to be making other side hustle videos. So if this side hustle isn't for you because you're not an animal person, then the next side hustle may be for you because you may be some other type of person, right? But either way, that's all I really have for today's video. If you have any questions about Rover or my experience or anything like that, definitely let me know down in the comment section below. I'm still using the platform. We're still getting bookings. We have a dog here right now. She's super chill. So yeah, and this is just passive money. You can see I'm sitting here recording a video and the dog's in there chilling, sleep. So it can be as easy as that, or it can be a little bit harder depending on the temperament of the dog. Either way, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Stay safe, stay positive, and stay hydrated. Dollar Mike. Peace.